I know it's a little bit hard to start saying no to other people, to start saying no to your friends, to start saying no to family, but it's time for you to stop feeling guilty about it. It takes a lot of practice. I have been doing it for a while, but there are still those times where I catch myself feeling bad or finding an excuse for me saying no. And that's when you need to start talking to yourself. You need to start showing love to yourself and being kind, having a full on conversation with yourself that it is okay for you to say no, that you are saying no because you are saying yes to you. I might feel guilty for saying no, but then I think about it that if I were to say yes to them, I would feel even worse for going and investing my time and energy into helping them instead of investing my time and energy into me, into my goals, into working on myself. So just think about that you might feel bad for right now, but it's just temporary and it takes practice because it's going to get easier and easier for you to say no because you are so used to saying yes. Change feels uncomfortable. Change is different. Who knows if I'll get to that point where I don't feel completely bad about saying no. There still might be times, because new people come into your life. There's new situations. It's just about doing what makes you happy at that point in time. You can't think about the future and don't worry about the past. The past is gone. Just focus on the now. If it's still hard for you to say no to other people, don't think that it's a bad thing. It's something good. Look at it as something positive because that's still something that you could be working on, something that you should be working on. So don't feel bad about yourself. Don't beat yourself up for feeling bad or for not saying immediately no, because you might say yes, but just because you say yes doesn't mean anything. You could say no whenever you want. And I know that was the thing with me where I would say yes and then a couple minutes later I would be thinking about it because you feel on the spot. Or when somebody asks you something, ask them for a couple minutes after they ask you. I know when people would ask me, hey, can I ask you for a favor? Instead of saying immediately yes, I say it depends what the favor is, and I tell them to explain. I ask questions. I might say yes, I might say no. Nowadays I just be saying no, no, no. Say no to everything in order to get the habit of saying no, because sometimes it's just hard for you to say no because you're so used to saying yes. I know it's really hard in the beginning because we grow up being told to always say yes, to say yes to your elders, that it's rude to say no, that it's rude to say no to friends, that it's rude to say no to family. But they don't tell you about yourself. They don't tell you about how when you are prioritizing other people, you are not prioritizing yourself. And that's something we got to change. And it starts with you. You have to be the one to break that negative cycle, to prioritize yourself, to start loving yourself, to be able to say no. And it's crazy how it starts when you are growing up. It's literally your parents, your siblings making you feel bad for saying no, where they threaten you. Parents use that against you or use that to manipulate you, where they might ask you, oh, can you do this? And you might want to say no, but you say yes. Or if you do say no, then they'll say, okay, well then I'll ask your sibling. Your sibling is always listening to me. Your sibling obeys me. That's how you feel bad. And that's how then you grow up people pleasing, seeking other people's approval, wanting to do things for other people so they can love you and so they won't leave you. That is negative. That's very sad how parents do that. I went through stuff like that, and just stuff where the so-called parent would say, oh, well, watch when you need something. I'm just a kid. You know what I'm saying? You're the parent and you're treating me like this. Looking back, that's how I see it now. Obviously, when you're a kid, you don't think about those things, but you're the parent that's supposed to be taking care of the child, yet you're threatening the child and you're asking the child to watch when they ask you for something. What? And even now as a grown-up, that's why it's so hard for you to say no to other people. It's hard for you to say yes to yourself. When you're an adult, that's how you are still depending on other people because they threaten you. Oh, watch when you need something. Or don't be asking me for any favors if you won't do this favor for me. And that's what gets you thinking fuck, I might need a favor from them. That's the cycle that you are repeating of depending on them. That's how they are manipulating you, by using you, using your kindness in order for their own benefit. That's how they get you to do things. That's how they get you to depend on them, because you might not even need nothing from them. You probably have never asked them for anything, but they have it in your head where you will need something from them. You will need them in the future. You are not a bad person for saying no. That does not make you mean. So when people are telling you that, do not pay attention to that. Do not listen to them. They are the ones that are negative. They are the ones that are mean, for manipulating you, for using you.